What if Spider-Man 2018 does next year launch on Xbox? No Game Pass. You had to go out and buy the game. What if it sells? What if that happens and it sells 5 million copies? That game right now is literally sitting in code, doing nothing, making no money. How many people in 2024 are going out to buy Spider-Man 2018? Now, you might have a few, sure, but it's not moving. It's just sitting on a shelf, not literally, but you know what I mean. It's sitting on code. It's not doing anything. They're in to make money. They have to figure out how to recur $400 million Concord, right? They have to figure that out. This is how you do.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, we have your next dose of the salty batch files right here and now. We have some great content to go over, some more hypocrisy, that's why we're here, and of course that misinformation and the receipts as always. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, we're just going to get right to it here without a lot of build up here, but we're going to get to J-Rock here. It's been a minute since we featured him for a second, but you just got to love the delusion that he starts off here, and you know, just a quick pause before we show this little post. It's going to be great for the Xbox Roundup. Some of these have already been coming out, and it's been pretty pathetic on the play hours and stuff that these guys are on here capping for so hard, so you'd think that those numbers would be bolstered, but just a side note, keep that in mind. Now, J-Rock, being one of those individuals caught many times not playing games, but here he is. Their killers came and went. R.I.P. Concord and X-Defiant. I don't know who, aside from maybe a few people that are super anonymous or just whoever's, in regards to maybe spouting off that Concord or X-Defiant would ever be competition or an Xbox Halo killer. That wasn't ever going to be a thing. I don't know anybody with any semblance of brainwave capacity stating that or leaning in that direction. But you love to see it here because they think that Halo Infinite is what put X-Defiant and Concord away, not the poor decisions, the false narratives, the bad character designs, the balancing, all sorts of stuff. I mean, you could put that in a big ol' pot and brew that up, and you have a ton of reasons on why both games did in fact fail, but for sure nobody said that these were the killers that were going to stop and get rid of Halo. I don't know any game that will eventually do that unless Halo continues to lose its identity, but that's a whole nother story and topic here. But just pulling something from left field here, and just the delusion, you see what they work with, right? This is exactly why we do these type of things, is to call out the craziness here in the community. Now, we'll go over here to the next thing. We have a new person named Brian Wood on social media accounts, an okay following. Essentially, I like to kind of brand him as the new Andy Pants. If you had the unfortunate, not privileged to know who that person is, has now shifted away from low-hanging fruit and being caught with tons of receipts to now grifting on the whole political side of things and the wokeness stuff and all that agenda. But we're not going to touch that right now. But this is who that guy reminds me of right here, Brian Wood, at the beginning parts of Mr. Andy Pants here. But Brian Wood, Xbox has the best of 2024, and it's not even close. Hashtag Xbox Game Pass. And of course, showing Indiana Jones, Hellblade 2, Stalker 2, Flight Simulator, Death Stranding, and then of course a catalog from Game Pass itself. What I want to focus on here, is no, they didn't have the best games of 2024, or those games would, you know, whether it missed the window or not, those games would have at least been kind of honorably mentioned as a Game of the Year contender in Game Awards and Joystick Awards and what have you out there. So this is delusional, first of all. Second of all, we want to focus on Death Stranding here. Why? Let's pull up another example here. What's awesome is we have a post from Brian Wood in the past here, stating Crackdown 3 is 10 times better than Death Stranding. That's right, you heard it here first, folks. Crackdown 3 is 10 times, not even 2 times, 10 times better than Crackdown 3, or Death Stranding, right? Hashtag unpopular opinion. I would like to say hashtag delusional opinion. But you see where this is coming from, right? And we're not done here. We're not done. We got another example here. We have correction. People have been playing Microsoft Flight Simulator for decades, and every game is better than the last. Death Stranding is the biggest disappointment in PlayStation history. So now it was synonymous with PlayStation because it was, helping being co-developed or funded, all that stuff with Kojima there via PlayStation. So of course they want to tie it to that. And again, this was just a year later from that last post essentially, but we're going to continue here. This is getting even better and better. Now that Death Stranding has been on Xbox and now Game Pass have you, I have never seen so much hate for a video game. What do PlayStation guys have against Death Stranding with the shrugging emoji? Do you see why I'm comparing him? If any of you knew or know of Andy Pants, do you see where I'm coming from here? Do you see the full-on delusion here? This is absolute craziness. He's been caught multiple times with receipts. He's been tagged in these. A lot of people have called him out. And what happens when these people get called out? Any guesses? Any ideas? I'll give a pause for a quick second.
Delusion.
That's right, absolutely nothing. They don't respond to anything. They ignore it and hope the problem goes away, or they can angle the next little grift or misinformation spreading post that they want to do. That's exactly what happens here. It's really just crazy at this point. So, jeez. But let's continue on, because I can only handle so much when it leans just completely outside the box of delusion, but I don't know if this next post is going to help any better. But Anna Anson here, hashtag Xbox Game Pass managed to outclass with an E, I guess. I mean, that's new to me. Let me know if that's another spelling in another country or something. But PS Plus every month this year. Good job, Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. So the crazy part here, again, when we're talking about the land of delusion, not to be confused with the land of confusion from Genesis or Mr. Phil Collins, right? Or the remake of that, or the iteration of that from Disturbed. But that being said, sidetracked. Last time I checked, Game Pass was not synonymous with the essential level of PS Plus, because he's not calling out PS Plus Extra or Premium, and if he did, I still think PS Plus Extra and Premium does give Game Pass Ultimate, which he's not calling out by the way, a run for its money. Is it better as far as day and date? No, but look at and compare the price costs of what it is per year. Look at the games that are offered, whether it's day and date first party or not. You do get first party, third-party games, or day and date, first day, third-party games, and indie games and stuff like that as well. But compare the pricing, if you will, and it's very similar, if not better, in regards to that. Now, again, he's comparing Xbox Game Pass to PS Plus, so he's talking about maybe core. If you're not specifying, we're looking at Essential versus Core, and right now Essential is beating Core to a pulp and has been for quite some time. Again, a ton of delusion here, but what can you do? Let's keep going here. So we have another trifecta or something similar to it in regards to Klutz. Unfortunately, I have to put him in here too. It hurts the head, it hurts the brain, but here we go. So Klutz, PS3 was PS1, PS2, DVD player, Blu-ray player, PS3 all in one, right? So he says, not necessarily wrong. PS5 Pro doesn't even have an effing disk drive. Stop the inflation-adjusted nonsense and stop defending Sony. So he's wanting to die on this hill, essentially, right? This is the hill he's standing on right now. Let's keep going. Xbox Series X White 1TB with the starry-eyed emoji, the most beautiful console ever made, just became better with fire. My launch Series X became very noisy, so instead of cleaning it from the dust, I thought, why not just upgrade? Can't wait till next gen starts. Wait a minute, this thing doesn't have a disk drive, so everything that he atoned for and said that PS5 Pro was being, egregiously selfish and upcharging and just pulling the wool over the consumer's eyes, now it's okay when you have just a white, standard Xbox Series X with no disk drive that is just as expensive, not expensive as the Pro, but just as expensive as the Series X normally, and then some. But this time, you're losing that disk drive that he was so focused on at that point in time. Do we see the hypocrisy here? Do you see how nobody can take this community serious whatsoever? The people that do, you have to step back and take a chance of looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, am I a sheep? Why do you want to fool yourself with delusion? I've mentioned this in the past videos just recently, but it just never ceases to amaze me why people want to just lie to make themselves feel better. It doesn't change anything at the end of the day. You still are a moron, right? So let's keep going here. We're gonna move on. Here we have an interaction from Mark to the Catfish, aka Joseph Cruz, aka Andrew Piccinini, now rebranded as Extension. I have to say that every time. It has to be the formal announcement. That's what Mark is saying here. I just don't get why they are moving away from the competing against the PlayStation 5 and moving into competing in the handheld market where there are many more competitors. If they think Nintendo and Steam are going to be any less aggressive than Sony, they have a rude awakening coming. Mark, you're absolutely 100% correct here, so I actually appreciate some honesty here. You don't see it very often on that side of the fence there, right? But, of course, we have numbskull stuff here from Extension. That's not really the problem. Let me stop you right there already. It really is. Let's continue. Microsoft is trying to get as many players from all possible platforms, including Xbox, PC, mobile, smart TVs, and those from PS, COD, and other games. I understand that. But the problem is they are pushing so hard with, you don't need an Xbox console marketing. That wasn't necessary. Just keep pushing console sales as much as catering to players everywhere. Okay, they did. They tried. Game Pass. Game Pass. Game Pass. I don't need to say it again. That's what ended up moving the trajectory. You weren't getting the subs. They weren't moving the hardware sales from the subs in conjunction with that. They weren't getting software sales. They made their bed. They have to lie in it. I don't know why this has to be stated every single time. They clearly are stating you don't need an Xbox for a reason. The trajectory is already there. And now we have rumors at the time of this recording that Steam is coming out with its own type of console again. We'll see if it ends up being anything special, if it'll be just kind of whatever, and it doesn't latch on. I think personally, we're not going to get into it for now, but I think those that want to be on PC are going to stay the PC route. They're not going to shift and go to a console. I don't see PlayStation or Nintendo folks going over to a Steam console as well, just depending. PlayStation will. If it is in terms of competing with a console platform, I don't see those games not being blocked on a Steam piece of hardware there. I could be wrong. I don't know for sure. I'm not a fortune teller. I just don't see why that would happen. Otherwise, you're putting your foot into one side of the hole where you're looking at possibly being a trajectory of full-on third-party like Xbox is going. But again, that's a whole nother topic. But you like to see the disillusionment with each other, right? Andrea Piccinini, Joseph Cruz here, just not understanding, still fooling themselves. And like I stated in the last video previous to this, they just started gaming this gen on Xbox, so maybe they're trying to play catch up in that little old brain peanut of theirs. But regardless here, now for the last post here, what I want to show you is something from Ryan McCaffrey. Now, just remember how adamant he was on Indiana Jones, right? Adamant it was going to be exclusive to Xbox. He's having fun. It's a great circle, blah, blah, blah. Showed the Xbox circle button, all this stuff here. So back in February, stated, people left Xbox in droves last gen because Microsoft couldn't consistently get either quantity or quality of exclusive games onto their platform. Their strategy now that they're finally getting these exclusives is to stop making them exclusive. He was having a problem with that. If you remember that post, you remember that post. And as you see at the bottom here, Xbox players will have long finished the game in a few months and probably won't care. Now they just don't care at this point after 3 months, right? This is 3-4 months, right? This is coming out, I believe, in like March or something like that for PlayStation. Plus, it plays best, including better than PS5 Pro or Xbox. So now we're trying to bargain here. We're at that stage right now, including PlayStation 5 Pro or Xbox, right? On a capable PC right now. Capable. We're going to touch back on that in just a moment. Just enjoy the video game, man. Whenever and on whatever platform works for you. Just forget about it, man. Where's my hippie glasses and my circlet of flowers here. Just forget about it, man. Can we just live in peace now? It is what it is. These games are going to head elsewhere. I have nothing to grasp onto, but I'm going to maybe lean towards PC now as well. And dude, just chill out, all right? No. That's not the case whatsoever, Ryan. I'm sorry. And again, misinformation. You're leading folks that you do have a large following. This is my thing. You have a large following. You're misleading people. The specs that came out to run Indiana Jones pretty well on a PC, you're going to need a pretty beefy rig. You're going to need a pretty beefy rig and some parts and components. It's out there. The specs were out there. Clearly out there well before you made this post, of course. And you continue to be like, on a capable PC. What does that mean? Is that how you're trying to kind of, protect yourself? Well, I said capable, guys. I said capable. Most people don't have the capable PC needing those specs. They're going to have to upgrade. Otherwise, you're going to be running into some serious issues here. Simple as that. Now, it's just insanity to me. But Ryan continues to try to pull the wool over his own eyes and others' eyes. Plays the word game right here a little more carefully. But we know the truth. You need a beefy rig to do that. And now it's okay. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, everybody. We're just gonna get along. No, absolutely not. So, it's just absolutely insanity to see here. Now, that being said, one quick thing before we wrap up the video here. Thank you for staying for the entirety of the video. But I just want to state here. I had someone mention to me, look, with what you're doing, this isn't going to change so-and-so. This isn't going to change what they do. I know them, blah, blah, blah. I get that. Absolutely. I'm not trying to change these individuals. I feature them because they don't stop. They don't stop spreading misinformation. So that's why I'm here. That's why I want to share what I do. This is part of the Salty Batch Files. That's what I want to do. I know I'm not going to change them, their mind, all this stuff. They have to change themselves. What I'm here to do is spread awareness by showing the delusion and showing the facts of the matter, right? It's just as simple as that. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to change people. I'm not trying to be their personal therapist. I am spreading awareness. I'm here sharing the facts. I'm here sharing the truth. I'm here sharing me being upfront and honest with everybody. So that being said, for anybody that says that I'm trying to change these folks, whether it be Colt, Ryan, Klutz, Andrea Piccinini, aka Joseph Cruz, anybody that we go over and feature, I'm not trying to change anybody. I know who they are. The grift game is strong. And for those saying, I don't know what grifting means, that's a loose term. They know what that means. They know they're grifting in all sorts of ways. It doesn't have to be money related. Stick that in your cap. That being said, thank you all so much. Really appreciate that once again. And if you haven't already, definitely leave a like, comment down below. Would love to hear from you. Both those things also help out the algorithm. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to a small content creator like myself. I'd greatly appreciate it. We're getting ever so close to that 3,000 sub goal. We're doing phenomenal. Thank you all for your continued support. I really do mean it. And at the end of the day, just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.